Just wanted to highlight that we have looked at some of the policies, we looked at pricing, and the last segment of the renewable side is just about financing. Where's the financing coming from? And will renewables really take off? Adriel.
Yes, so this slide essentially it's our view and what we have seen in the market in terms of green bond issuances. You can see it has been growing quite significantly. 2017 is about 1.2 billion. 2018, 2.9 billion, more than doubling. And in 2019, just the end of January itself, there was already $400 million of green bonds raised. Quite a large amount of this funds are currently unallocated, so they could go renewable projects. Yes, and so this large part of it is unallocated. Some of them have already been allocated renewable projects itself. And it's about more or less a 50-50 split between Islamic bonds, green Islamic bonds, and green bonds. So this is a list, it's pretty small to see, I know. This is a list of all the green bonds that have been issued, and the ones highlighted in red are those that have been issued, and inside the issuance is very stated as financing certain renewable projects. As I mentioned earlier, quite a lot of the projects in Malaysia, there's about 300 megawatts of solar in Malaysia has been funded by green Islamic bonds. So we're increasingly seeing this as quite a viable solution in terms of getting financing. It's no longer like back, let's say 3-4 years ago, where financing of renewable projects is seen as a really tough thing. I guess the most recent one would be AC Energy, and from this you can really see where the popularity is coming in. When they initially had the issuance of their green bond, it was about $200 million of funds that they wanted to raise. It was so heavily oversubscribed, and they more or less knew that they had projects in the pipeline that they want to get constructed. They increased the issuance all the way up to about $410 million. So it's more than double of it. And the coupon payment rates aren't very high. It's about 4%. So it's not too difficult for a project to actually get financed through this manner and still be profitable and viable. Yeah. Yep, so this is actually the end of this set of presentations. So I guess if there's any questions out there, you just raise it.
Let me pass the mic.
Okay, so I think we'll start with the Q&A session for the first 3 questions. Anyone? Okay, Pak Dudi, and then Mbak Ami.
I can project my voice.
Okay.
Yeah, not a problem.
No, it's okay, it's okay.
No, please, you ask the question, then we can project.
All right.
It's easier.
So my question is, if you go back to your slides on the target, renewable target, this one, seems like the number, I'm familiar with Indonesia, it seems like it's low. 8.7, is that your extrapolation? Or?
No, this is from the latest 2019 IUPTL. There was, I think, we just released a week or 2 back. That's what they want to add, to install by 2028.
Oh, okay. Okay. So this is officially from the government.
This excludes large hydro, so it's just geothermal, small hydro, and then solar, wind. Yes.
If you're thinking about the old national energy plan, it was a lot higher. I think that was closer to 25 gigawatts.
That's what I thought.
Yes.
So it's been revised.
So we just updated this last
I
week
see.
to bring it down because of the new RUPTL.
Could you go back one slide before? Thank you, by the way, for coming over and talking to us. This is really very insightful. No, not this one. Yeah, this one, sorry. Could you explain a little bit the thumbs up and the thumbs down? I'm especially interested in knowing for the thumbs down for Indonesia. Thank you.
Okay, so when we were looking at this, it was really to simplify
It was really to simplify the message to say, if we look at the policies that are in place today, does it actually support renewable development? And it's relative. If you look at some markets like the Philippines, it's a thumbs up because there is a renewable portfolio standard that's been put in place that forces the distribution companies to buy more renewables every year. However, conversely, when we look at Indonesia, there hasn't been any policies that's been very supportive. And one of the main difficulties and challenges has been the calculation of the tariff for renewables, which is benchmarked against coal. Now, when it's benchmarked against coal and 85%, it's quite difficult and tough to make a return on these projects. But that being said, it's differentiated. So in areas like Sulawesi, in West Papua, you can still see some returns there. However, when you're looking at the main island of Java, where most of the electricity demand is at, the tariffs are just just a little too low. So that's why we kind of didn't really give it a thumbs up. Not that the potential is there, but we need, or the renewable sector needs
Sufficient support.
other
So
policies.
this is related to then the government and policies, if you will, and
Yes.
maybe fiscal regime in support of renewables.
Yes, that's right.
You should change it before you come here.
Independent research analyst.
Yeah, independent research analysts. So this is our view, but of course we'll be watching and monitoring the developments for Indonesia, and I think it always depends. It's
I would argue actually we need this so then we can show the governments and agencies of the comparison with the other Southeast Asian countries of what we are still lacking in order to encourage more renewables.
Yes, and I think it's really because there is just this conflict in the government, right? At the end of the day, Indonesia wants affordable electricity. That's definitely a driving force. And affordable today is coal. Coal is abundant in domestic resources, and when you look at some of the power development, you can achieve a lot of power output with a small amount of land and a small power plant. But renewables, on the other hand, is still costly today. You have to go through that period of learning, of paying higher prices for renewables before those prices can come down. So it's just about balancing affordability with development of a new sector that's very difficult and something that governments always have to grapple with. Yeah, thank you for the question.
Maybe we'll change it next time to like a star. 1 star, 2 star, everyone gets star. Yes. We'll change it, yeah. That's a good idea though. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs up.
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity. And then, actually, I'd like to ask something, but I have to share. Probably I have to share something. Especially, I'm interested for the renewable energy. If we talk about the renewable energy, we start from geothermal, solar, wind, hydro, and bio. If we talk about geothermal, it like takes time to get there, and very high risk, high skill, high money, and high cost, and then high risk too. So I'm interested to talking about the solar beyond the, the renewable energy beyond the geothermal, like solar and wind and hydro. This is the business. If you talk about the business, at least you have to know 5 things. The first one, what is the product? The second one, what is the production cost, including insurance and freight? And what's the market? And then what's the competitor? And then how's the customer behavior? On top of this, you have to have entrepreneurship, networking, and business philosophy. You have to have it, otherwise you will not success. Now we talk about the renewable energy, especially solar. In Netherlands, wind energy very popular. They already advanced to provide energy from the household to the trade. In Brazil, they success renewable energy from cane and corn. Now my question is, in South Asia especially, or in Asia, especially the huge market, Asia is a huge market. You can imagine, China itself, 1.5 billion population. Asian at least 0.7 billion. India 1.7 billion. And then the technology from Japan and South Korea. All of these related to business. Based on their research, because I know the university is very expert in research. Based on your research, which one is renewable energy sustainable and reliable? Like say the solar or wind. As I say, wind or resources in Netherlands, and then bio or resources in Brazil. So each one based on the research. That's my question. Thank you very much.
So which one is the most
Reliable.
reliable? Okay.
I think as you rightly pointed out, geothermal is very, very risky. Because I guess the way a PPA is signed in Indonesia, it's only when you actually find the resource. So upfront, it could be 4 or 5 years of exploration, investments to just dig trial holes essentially to find the resource. So very, very risky. Totally agree with you on that. Then coming to, I guess, let's say wind, solar, and biomass. Biomass essentially, I would say it's something that actually has a lot of potential in Southeast Asia. There's still a lot of agricultural sector developments in the region. Indonesia is one of the largest palm oil producers. Whatever, after squeezing out the palm oil, that residue essentially, it can really be used to go and fuel biomass. So it is something that should be used, and I guess will be used more often nowadays. I think one of your presidential candidates, I can't recall which one, they were wanting to try and promote this whole biofuels industry. And recently, if I recall correctly, they are intending to go and do some fuel switching for some of the smaller diesel generating units in the country, swapping it out and making it burn biomass essentially. I guess another avenue that biomass can really, I guess, increase the renewable uptake in the country is doing some fuel blending with all the coal plants. There's so much coal plants. The technological improvements that is required or enhancements required to the plant is not that great to do some fuel blending. Maybe you just add in 5% of biomass, it will increase the whole uptake of renewables quite a lot.
Okay, but you have to remember, what the solar and wind is abundant in Asia. Abundant, huge. So I don't believe, the solar or wind more possible instead of the other things. In my perspective.
So in terms of solar and wind, okay, so I guess like what Zhe mentioned earlier, that pricing is really one of the stumbling blocks at the moment, what prices they can get in the country in terms of what they pay. So if you see the more far-flung regions, your Maluku, Papua, you could get really good rates. But then the development cost to get there is a lot higher. If you want to do a wind project there, they might not really have deep water ports to move all those 80-meter tall hubs and the 70, 80-meter long rotor blades. So it's really difficult. Your whole development cost goes up a lot. So then the developer then needs to balance out between, yes, you can get a higher tariff, but the cost of developing increases a lot as compared to some of the more populated regions where, yes, it's cheaper for them to develop, but the tariffs you're getting is really low then.
How about the reliability?
Reliability, I would say, less so on the reliability of the wind turbine and whatnot. It's more on whether the grid can take that kind of intermittency. Because in a lot of these regions, there isn't sufficient, I guess, capacity in the grid to take that intermittency, and whether there's enough conventional generation to meet the intermittency as and when there's cloud cover, or as and when the wind speeds are too low such that the turbines are not generating enough electricity, whether there's conventional generation to take over and, I guess, smooth out the generation. That is more on the reliability part of things, whether it can accept that electricity then. Yeah. And of course, once you require more grid enhancements, it costs even more. I mean, and then who then pays for it? Will it be partially borne by the developer of the project? Then again, it increases costs. This is start comparing it against the tariffing again.
Okay. Oh, Olivia. So it all comes down to the incentives and the financial drive, or okay.
So when you guys talking about this, this is really interesting, and